Okay, please locate the blue insert in your programs and join with me as we read together our community's purpose, vision, and mission statements and the identity prayer, which is written by Dr. Ernest Long. Our purpose is to be a spiritual community that co-creates love. Our vision is humanity awakened to authentic wholeness. Our mission is to embody and teach spiritual principles. I know that within myself there is that life which is perfect, complete, divine. It was never born and cannot die, for it lives and is God. Within myself is the wholeness, peace, poise, and power of life. This life is health, it is abundance, it is love. There is one life, and it is the life of God. And this is my life now, and so it is.
Please stand and join us once again in Affirmation Rock, number 16A.
That's my favorite.
Another Cliff Rubin number. Celebrating Cliff Rubin today.
Hello again. Hello. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Cincinnati. And you are all loved. Yeah. We are all loved. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way. Please silence your communication devices. And we have some first-time guests, so I'd like to just say hi and welcome you. I see this whole middle row. Looks like some new people. There's some
all right.
people back here. You are loved. Just so you know. We pray here. We pray before service, after service, during service, obviously. By appointment, there's numbers for the practitioners on the back of the programs if you want to call somebody up and get a prayer session. And we pray via our prayer request box, which is on the back table here on the left. And you just fill out a little slip, and we will be happy, the prayer team will be happy to pray for you. Okay, please take a moment to review the inserts in your program, the detailed information about upcoming events at the center. We do have additional information on the back tables, also posted in the bookstore. You can call the center's office, or you can check out our website, cslgc.org. A couple announcements. Please join us on Wednesday evenings for our midweek service. It starts at 6:30. Doors do open at 6. And we have normally Science of Mind readings, meditation, song, and prayer. And that is typically hosted by Jeffrey and Joy. This coming week, we're having a video from the WOW conference again, the WOW convention in Orlando. And I will be showing that video, so all your prayers are necessary for me to be able to, because I wasn't on the AV team in high school. So.
You've been trained.
I've been trained by Jeffrey. I took notes. Okay. Lauren has an announcement.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm so thrilled to be up here as usual. I have, you know who I am. This is what I do. I have actually a real quick one. I said a couple weeks ago that the membership cards would be scooped up and put in the office for you to pick up at your leisure now that they've been on the back table for a few weeks. That didn't happen because I wasn't here last Sunday, so it will happen this Sunday. So if you haven't gotten your membership card, please pick it up if you so desire to have csl.org in your pocket. You always have it in your heart. You have it in your pocket. I know, pretty good, huh? So my second announcement is we typically have, d'habitude, as we say in French, we have a summer event where we go and sweat like pigs and have a great time together at a shelter in the park somewhere. And this year, the council and your ministers have thought about changing it a wee bit to move it closer toward the beginning of fall, so that it's a little bit cooler and still gorgeous. And also to combine it with our town hall meeting that takes place in the fall. So that is a change that we're going to try this year, see how that goes. And I am looking for a few hardy hosts and hostesses who will help make that event just as successful as it's been in years past. So I do need a few people to come forward who will take ownership of that, as we say, and make that wonderful. So don't see me after services, I'll be counting. I see a finger.
Do we have a date?
We don't have a date. I was hoping that committee could make that decision. I've made all the decisions about it. I'm going to turn it over to somebody else.
It's going to be here then?
It doesn't have to be here. It can be in a park. It can be on a boat. It can be on a ship to Mars. Really, I mean, it's up to the committee.
I can help you with that.
Excellent. So that would be a long meeting. But yeah, so we're open to everything once the committee comes together and can make that happen for us. So if you're interested, how about Peggy? Would you be available to talk to people about that?
Peggy, come and talk to me.
Come and talk to Peggy. She's the first face I saw back there. She's your council treasurer, so see her. And lastly, your council did meet yesterday. We had a 6-hour retreat out at Grailville with Reverend Dee and all the council members except for Paul, of course, who's recovering from a little minor anomaly to his perfect heart. And we are so fired up after this retreat and excited about the year to come, and I really believe we've got the right people in place, and there's more room on the council for anybody who wants to come and join this amazing, dynamic, loving group to guide us through the next fabulous year. So if you have any comments, questions, or issues, me or Peggy or Shirley or Diane, who's down with the kids this morning. And that's it. Reverend, just give me the sign. Okay, thanks. In a loving way.
Okay, another announcement, the Service Circle volunteers are at it again, Saturday, June 7th, engaging with Paint the Town Cincinnati. Volunteers are need to register with Joni Widener or online, or also online, where they have to do both? Yes. Okay, both. Register with Joni, register online. Where there's more information at paintthetowncincinnati.org. There's a sign-up sheet at the back of the room, and Joni says that ladder work is strictly optional. So if you don't like heights, you don't have to get on the ladder. And finally, the after-service lunch brunch is trying a new place today. They are meeting at Olives in Clifton. Lunch is at noon. There are maps on the back table. Could everybody please raise their hands who's going to go to lunch?
Olives.
Olives in Clifton.
Yeah, the maps are on one paper back there. Thank you. We'll see you there.
Thank
If
you.
you decide later, just let me know. We'll add you. Carpool if you can.
Community
Further than
chant.
we used to go.
So we'll be singing There Is Only Love, number 3A. It's our last time for this month. So be deep in your heart.
Worship and celebration this morning. Please take a deep cleansing breath with me. Letting it out, let go of all that came before. Resting in the moment, this moment. Join with me as we receive today's reading. Today's reading is one you may have heard before. It is about remembering, honoring, and what it means to be in community. As I came out of the supermarket that sunny day, pushing my cart of groceries towards my car, I saw an old man with the hood of his car up and a lady sitting inside the car with the door open. The old man was looking at the engine. I put my groceries away in my car and continued to watch the old man from about 25 feet away. I saw a young man in his early 20s with a grocery bag in his arm walking towards the old man. The old gentleman saw him coming too and took a few steps towards him. I saw the old gentleman point to his open hood and say something. The young man put his grocery bag into what looked like a brand new Cadillac Escalade. He then turned back to the old man. I heard him yell at the old gentleman saying, "You shouldn't even be allowed to drive a car at your age." And then with a wave of his hand, he got in his car and peeled out of the parking lot. I saw the old gentleman pull out his handkerchief and mop his brow as he went back to his car and again looked at the engine. He then went to his wife and spoke with her. He appeared to tell her it would be okay. I had seen enough, and I approached the old man. He saw me coming and stood straight, and as I got near him, I said, "Looks like you're having a problem." He smiled sheepishly and quietly nodded his head. I looked under the hood myself and knew that whatever the problem was, it was beyond me. Looking around, I saw a gas station up the road, and I told the old man that I would be right back. I drove to the station and went inside. I saw 3 attendants working on cars. I approached one of them and related the problem the old man had with his car. I offered to pay them if they could follow me back down and help him. The old man had pushed the heavy car under the shade of a tree and appeared to be comforting his wife. When he saw us, he straightened up and thanked me for my help. As the mechanics diagnosed the problem, which was an overheated engine, I spoke with the old gentleman. When I shook hands with him earlier, he had noticed my Marine Corps ring and had commented about it, telling me that he had been a Marine too. I nodded and asked the usual question, "What outfit did you serve with?" He said that he served with the 1st Marine Division at Guadalcanal and Okinawa and retired from the Corps after the war was over. As we talked, we heard the car engine come on and saw the mechanics lower the hood. They came over to us as the old man reached for his wallet, but was stopped by me. I told him I would just put the bill on my card. He still reached for the wallet and handed me a card that I assumed had his name and address on it, and I stuck it in my pocket. We all shook hands all around again, and I said my goodbyes to his wife. I then told the 2 mechanics that I would follow them back up to the station. Once at the station, I told them that they had interrupted their own jobs to come along with me and help the old man. I said I wanted to pay for the help, but they refused to charge me. One of them pulled out a card from his pocket. Looked exactly like the card the old man had given to me. Both of the men told me then that they were Marine Corps Reserves. Once again, we shook hands all around, and as I was leaving, one of them told me I should look at the card the old man had given me. I said I would and drove off. For some reason, I had gone about 2 blocks when I pulled over and took the card out of my pocket and looked at it for a long, long time. The name of the old gentleman was on the card in golden leaf, and under his name was written, Congressional Medal of Honor Society. I sat there motionless, looking at the card and reading it over and over. I looked up from the card and smiled to no one but myself, and marveled that on this day, 4 Marines had all come together because one of us needed help. He was an old man, all right, but it felt good to have stood next to greatness and courage, and an honor to have been in his presence. Please join me in prayer. Today we come together on this Memorial Day weekend, Sunday. And we welcome the presence of Spirit with us always, always in our hearts, always around us, surrounding us, loving us, inspiring us. knowing us. And we honor all our fallen brothers and sisters during all the wars in all the world, not just in America, not just American brothers and sisters, everyone, because we are all one. And we honor our brothers and sisters who served and survived, survived the wars. And we love. We are here to love and to learn and to know that peace is the only way and love is the only way. And that's why we come together every Sunday to be peace, to be love, to be who God meant us to be, the value that Spirit put in us. And we celebrate also. We don't only mourn, we celebrate too. So together, please join with me. And so it is.
And so
it is.
And thank you everybody that's here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I could just bask in this energy all day. This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad we have some visitors here today. I'm going to share a little bit about things, about me, about the board. Lauren was up here. She introduced herself as the president of our leadership council, but she is. And what a great retreat she led yesterday. It was amazing. And I'm here to tell you that you have an amazing group of leaders at the helm, as it were, who are not only looking out for you and for us, but look out for each other. And it's just a joy to be part of that community. So I've been gone for a couple of weeks. Anybody miss me? It hurts just a little bit that you have to ask. While I was gone, for those of you who were thinking that from the outside my life looked like it was perfect, whole, and complete, I am so glad to disappoint you in that. And for those of you who are out there and knew that my life is perfect, whole, and complete, regardless of what it looked like on the outside, I'm saying yes to that and affirm that, and I thank you for doing that, and being behind me and knowing the truth, because that's what we're here for, is to know the truth. Seems I had allowed myself to buy into the illusion that somebody could steal my power. You'd think I'd know better, wouldn't you? Darn it! Once again. And so going away, being on my little retreat, was exactly what I needed. To get out of that place where I couldn't see the truth of who I am, and go to that place where I can know that truth at the deepest level. And if anybody ever feels like getting away, and that's what has to happen, go for it. Go for it. Oh, there's people ready. Because we support you in that. What I came to find out was that nobody can steal my power. That's the truth, isn't it? Yeah. Nobody can steal my power. I can give it away. I can pretend like somebody can steal it. I can pretend like it's not mine. Like there's other forces out there that control. That's not the truth. It's not the truth for me, and it's not the truth for you. And so I came back here today, and I'm so glad to be back, and stand here as a man of power. And what I know for me, I know for each person in this room. Because I know that each man and woman in this room is a man or woman of power. Say with me, I am.
I am.
A man.
I am.
Thank you. I was afraid I was going to have to explain things. I'm sorry, doesn't that feel good?
Yes.
You don't have to believe it. We don't believe it all the time, you know? It doesn't always feel that way. But when we say it, we can feel it, can't we? Because there is that within us which knows the truth. And this is the truth, that each one of us is a person of power. And so I celebrate that today. Okay, so let's play then. Today, this month we're talking about intuition. And it's Memorial Day weekend. It's already 11 o'clock. We have a lot to do. So, Dream Big is our title today. Oh, man, Julie, you cracked me up. Your story. Oh.
Right here, this one right here.
Oh, believe you. Now I'm gonna sniffle. We had our retreat this week, and I just want to bring up a few points that were in there because they came out important. And so whatever happened this last week, in the last 2 weeks, in the last 2.5 months since I came here to be your senior minister, we're just going to let it go. We're going to let go of everything that I was going to say today because what happened yesterday was so powerful. And what has happened while I have been gone has been so powerful inside of me. And I thought I should share it with you because it has to do with my vision of ministry and my vision of this place, this Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Cincinnati. And I thought you might like to know what that's all about. All right. So, I'm fresh out of ministerial school, and they teach us a lot of things because they try to teach us to be successful. They want to put successful ministers out there so that we can have successful communities. And we can bring this thing that we know as a truthful teaching out into all of the communities of this country and across the world. And we do that in several different ways. For one thing, we're really pretty good at looking at what can bring a community down. The mistakes that can be made that can destroy a community from the outside and from the inside. And so we try to avoid those pitfalls, we try to recognize them and avoid them. What we're not quite so good at is figuring out this art of what makes successful ministry, what makes successful communities. But there are a few people out there who have been hugely successful, and they've been willing to share with us. And one of those people you might have heard of, Rick Warren. Anybody read his books? The Purpose-Driven Church, The Purpose-Driven Life, The Purpose-Driven Automobile, I don't know. I guess if you get a good title that people will buy, you just keep adding something to it. But you know what? He took his calling into ministry in a different denomination than ours, granted. And he was called to some town in Southern California with nothing more than that call and a purpose in mind. And he gathered around him a few people that said, yes, I can share that purpose with you. I can support that purpose. I will take responsibility for joining with you in that purpose. And he grew a mega church that does incredible work. And so everybody wants to know, what's your secret? And his secret is purpose. Purpose. He says, you've got to know your purpose. And then you've got to focus on your purpose. And then you have to refocus on your purpose. And your purpose goes into everything that you do, every meeting that you hold, every activity, every social activity, every prayer group, every book study, every talk on Sunday morning. You've got to stick with purpose. And so I knew when I went into ministry that I was going that my purpose was to serve and to know the truth and to lead. And I came here and I committed to your purpose. As you committed to me to come and do that leading and that supporting and that serving, I committed to your purpose. Our purpose. And what is that purpose? See, now, perhaps this is the problem. All right? We've already recited it every day for the last, I don't know how long. It's printed in your program. It's on the website. Our purpose is to be a spiritual community, co-creating love. Okay, yeah, well, I see some shrugs. I'm standing up here, a man of power, and I don't feel the power in that. And yet, I was there when we came up with that purpose, when we defined it, when we went into visioning. We do a lot of visioning here. We believe in vision. We believe in catching that highest vision of spirit as itself, as it works in and through and as this community. So we sat down and we visioned and we came up with that. And I believe that the essence of Spirit's highest vision of itself is in that statement. And perhaps there towards the end we got a little hungry or a little tired. Perhaps we were a little too polite with each other in deciding how to take what came out of visioning and put it into a statement that had that kind of power. And I knew that I was having trouble with it. How can I lead with the kind of power that I know I want to lead by when I can't figure out the purpose that I'm leading for? But it's there. It's in there. That essence came from our vision. And it's not about we are to be a spiritual community. You know what? We are a spiritual community. That's where the power is in that statement. We are a spiritual community. We cannot think about becoming what we want to be. We have to be what we want to become. Isn't that what we teach?
Yes.
Absolutely. So we are a spiritual community. What is spiritual? Oh, darn, another question. I'll count to 5. Anybody that wants to? No. Okay. Okay, spirituality is nothing more or less than discovering, uncovering, revealing the truth. Okay? The truth of who we are. And spirituality is a very personal thing. It's a very individualized thing. That's one of our core beliefs, isn't it? God is personal to anyone that feels the indwelling presence. Oh. God is personal to anybody that feels the indwelling presence. How does that feel? Can you feel that? That's the truth. So it's an individual feeling, this spirituality thing that we all come together for. How do we do that in community? If it's personal, do you need community to do it? Do you need community to know who you are? What God is? What it means to be a divine being in form on this planet? Two people are pretty sure that they need that. I would say it's not required. I'm saying it's very helpful. It's all. So we do it in community. And what is community then? Julie spoke of it. Union. Communion with. It's something, there's a catalyst that brings people together. And it's a choice. You choose what community you're in. You choose whether to stay in that community. Julie talked about a community of Marines. Had never met each other. But there was that common ground that they knew and said yes to. What does community not do? Community did not help that old man get old, did it? Community did not help that old man not have a car that broke down. What community did was rally around and support one of its own. There's another community that was in the news this week. A beautiful little city on the coast in California. Santa Barbara. And there was a shooting there this week. Another senseless shooting. And what's in the news? Who's to blame? The police did not do enough. The parents did not do enough. These gun mongers. All this talk about gun control and we don't do anything about it. There's somebody to blame for the deaths. Somebody to blame for the grief. Somebody to blame for the sorrow. No doubt there is. But what we are is we are spiritual community, is that right?
Yeah.
There is a difference between spiritual community and other kinds of community. It is ours to know the truth about people, to know the truth about situations, and not to go into blame. Anybody here ever make a mistake? Make an error? I'm guessing there's people here that have even sinned. Sin! I will say it. I will say it. And ours is not to go about telling you about your mistakes and your sin. Ours is to know the truth behind that you are perfect, whole, and complete, here and now. And so community becomes a place not where we do not make mistakes, not where we do not err, not where we do not even sin. Spiritual community is not about that. Spiritual community is about knowing the truth and celebrating you and me even when we fall down. Now that's a purpose I can get behind. And so I'm willing to make that commitment to you, to be a leader, to be supportive, and to serve in community. Spiritual community. Where everybody supports everybody and looks past that which hurts us, that which we feel uncomfortable about, that which seems kind of off. Because we can look past that. We can look past our personal humanness and past the personal humanness of everyone around us and know the truth. Celebrate the truth and support each person here in uncovering and revealing that indwelling presence we all feel. That's what community does. People that are new here, you don't realize it, but there's a couple of people that are missing today, and it's kind of conspicuous. Our founding minister, Reverend Linda, is not here. Her husband, Bill, is not here. Most of you know that they bought a house up in Tip City. Got it all remodeled. Beautiful new bamboo flooring and stainless steel appliances. And this week, there was some kind of freak storm up in Tip City that dropped 6 inches of rain in their neighborhood. A couple inches of it ended up across their entire floor. Now they don't have new bamboo flooring. They don't have new appliances. They don't even have wallboard for the first 4 feet up off the ground. And so what do? We know the truth. We know the truth for Bill and Linda, that the truth of their being is absolute wholeness. And in knowing that wholeness, we know that none of that physical thing affects their being, affects who they are, affects that perfection within, affects the God being. And we know for them, wholeness. That's the quality of God we know for them. Wholeness. And we know that that wholeness is being established in what they reveal in their lives. So that their home is already restored in the mind of God. Their belongings are already placed in the mind of God. And their relationship with their daughter, who they're living with for the next month or so, with the 2 cats, is already restored in the mind of God. There's a couple more people. Helen and Paul. Paul's the vice president of our leadership council. Paul went to the hospital this week in a very serious condition that required those paddle things to restart his heart. Had a procedure done to put some kind of a machine inside of his heart that is going to keep that from happening again. He came to the hospital in a very weakened state. But you'll be happy to know he came there in a Paul state. The emergency room nurse told Helen, she said, I knew he was going to be okay because he never shut up. sometimes we wish Paul would shut up. We can just know that the truth of his being is that's how he gets through it. That's the God in him saying, this is not the truth about who I am. And Helen, the worst day of her life, she said. Can you imagine? The worst day of her life, she went into prayer. She relied on prayer. She did our 5 steps. And she kept being in that affirmative step that knew that God is only good. And so there had to be good in this. And then she held on to that, and that gave her comfort. That got her through the worst day of her life. Oh, man, that makes you feel good. So people in our community need us. Not to blame, not to shame, not even to guilt. They need us to support us when we need support. We also need to support when we don't need support. Because we're also about celebrating. Not only are we willing to look past the appearances that do not reflect the perfection within, we are willing to celebrate when that outer life, the physicalness of our being and our experience absolutely reflects what's on the inside. Oh, that's called affirmation. And that's a good thing. We sang a couple songs today by a man named Cliff Rubin. A man that joined our community how long ago? A little over a year. It seems much longer. In a good way again. Yeah, you know. Most of you know that Cliff has been at the Holmes Institute in ministerial school. And he has shared with us much of his insight. He's shared with us his teachings. He's shared with us so much of his music. And yesterday, Cliff graduated. Amen to that. And in August, he will go and do his final panels, and he will be licensed as a minister for Centers for Spiritual Living.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Meanwhile, he's going to move away from us. See, okay, let's celebrate that because it is a good thing. He's taking his light in this world. And Cliff, will you come up and tell us about that? Welcome him up.
Thank you. It has been a joy, honor, and privilege to be a part of this community. And I just love being here, sharing, laughing, playing. It's been a real important year for me, being the last year of school, and a lot of transformation for me and change. Having a community and folks like you to commune with has meant the world to me and got me through what turned out to be a pretty rough time for me. And coming out of it has just been brilliant. As some of you know, I've started an online ministry, the Virtual Center for Spiritual Living. We started with a Wednesday evening service. Turns out we're now doing a Wednesday afternoon service because we have folks in South Africa, England, and Germany. And I have met the love of my life. I've met an amazing woman who has taken my heart and soul and awe in a way that I actually did not expect in this lifetime.
Good for you, Cliff.
And so I will miss you all. I'm moving out to California to be with her. as she wants to partner with me in building my ministry and building our lives together. And I want to partner with her and her dreams, and that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm grateful to Reverend Dee and of course Reverend Linda, and so many of you have been such a fantastic support for me here. The welcome and the chance to share with you has just fed me. The nurturing to me has just been awesome. Thank you.
Julie was saying earlier that what we do here is pray. And so one of the things we like to do is do a prayer chamber. And so we're going to do a prayer chamber today. I'll ask the practitioners to stand around the room. We've got a target for our prayer today. We're going to pray Cliff into his ministry, into his next step, into the love of his life. The practitioners are going to do it. I want everyone to keep their eyes open, focus on this man of power, and know the truth with our practitioners. Will you start? All of it. I'm so grateful for it.
I pray for Cliff's joy and happiness. I claim for Cliff's love always. I declare this give that grace. And so I celebrate and I release this with care so much. That it is already done. And I know for Cliff all that he desires. All of us.
Okay, deep breath, everybody. Yeah, that is good. Okay, there's a couple other things you can do as the musicians are coming up here. They have a fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited about this, and I'm sure somebody's going to explain it to us. But in the meantime, in your program, there are 3 addresses. You can be part of how we support each other. Okay, we support each other in prayer, and we support each other by reaching out. So if you would like to reach out to Cliff and say yes to his future, if you would like to reach out to Bill and to Reverend Linda and say, yes, I know your wholeness. If you would like to reach out to Paul and say, you are already healed in the mind of God, there's a way for you to do it. You can mail it, you can email it, you can give him a call. It's there. Jeffrey.
Reverend Dee, here's a story about a kid whose external problems sound pretty familiar to me from a period in my life. And yet this kid is already dreaming big. This kid already has a sense that he's part of everything. And I welcome and thank Thea and Audrey and Balku and Kim and Leo for helping me tell this story. a sleepwalker. He's so unresponsive, I just cannot break through. He spends all night in the backyard, staring up at the stars and the moon, singing, They have a chart and graph of my despondency. They want to chart a path for self-recovery. They want to know what I'm thinking, what motivates my mood, to spend all night in the backyard, staring up at the stars and the moon. You know, maybe this was made for me, for lying on my back in the middle of a field. Maybe that's a selfish thought, or maybe there's a loving God. Maybe I was made this way, to think and to reason and to question and to pray. I have never prayed a lot, but maybe there's a loving God. Maybe this was made for me, for lying on my back in the middle of the field. Maybe that's a selfish thought, or maybe there's a loving God. Maybe I was made this way, to think and to reason and to question and to pray. I have never prayed a lot, maybe there's a loving God. That may be a foolish thought, or maybe there is a God. I have never prayed a lot, but maybe there's a loving Oh yeah, the future's looking bright. Wow. As the ushers grab the baskets, let's make our declaration of prosperity. Spirit, through me, bless and multiply all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Julie would say, and now there's a cake. Ah, there is a cake. It's in the back. It even has my name on it.
Why not?
Apparently, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Okay, so there's another chance to go back there and support the people in this community. I know the addresses, or some old addresses on that little sheet in your book. Things are being forwarded, so since people aren't living where they're supposed to be living, we'll just have to make do. And we give thanks for all the many blessings, for the prosperity that flows in and out of this community. For that spiritual practice of tithing, for that generous giving with joyous heart, for all that comes into and out of this Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Cincinnati. I give thanks. I know it is a blessing. I know it is so, and I let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
All right. We're gonna close out today. Is it time? Time to close out?
Would you like to stay later?
Guide people up on their feet once again.
All right.
Affirmation walk.